Welcome back, Mosh Pit Podcast. We're here with Royal Vices at the Goldfield in Roseville. Sorry. And how you guys feeling today? First show of the year.
Yeah. We're ready. Yeah.
Jazz,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
Yeah. And I'm gonna start off. What's your dream venue and artist to perform with?
Ooh.
Soundwave, Green Horizon, something big and European.
I have like the taste of an old head, so I'd be like fucking Death with Chuck Schuldiner, bro. Like pre-2000.
I mean, for me, Dance Kevin Dance, it's always...
That's true. Yeah. Hail the Sun.
If you guys want to share mics, so that way.
Course, yeah,
For me, one of my big like influences, especially lyrically, is Being as an Ocean. So Being as an Ocean is on my top list to perform with.
Yeah.
It would never happen, but a lot like Birds, if they ever like actually reformed.
Oh,
you know?
shit. I didn't even think about
That would be the one.
Come on, guys. Come on.
I mean, Drop Dead Gorgeous. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, there's a plenty of old bands would be great to see, or great to go on tour with, or great to play shows with, whatever. What Was Me would be cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I love that era of music, the tens era of stuff, the metalcore era where
The
everything was
MySpace
great.
days.
Yeah, the MySpace, like, I don't know, old school Mice and Men, Attack, stuff like that.
The MySpace days.
Yeah, it still sounds super good to me.
Hell yeah. What is the story behind the creation of your song Death in the Family and behind the name Royal Vices?
Well, for Death from a Family, like it went through like a lot of lyrically changes, but like a lot of the main premises is like dealing with the bandman issues, because I deal with a lot of bandman issues, especially when it comes to not having a father, issues, my birth mother leaving at a very young age. So like that's typically what I kind of centered around that song for mainly. And Royal Vices is like pretty much like dealing with all our own vices, like how we deal with everything and like how we come together as a band to kind of just like battle our own demons in a way.
Hell yeah.
Addiction's a real thing, and we deal with it, but we deal with it on a fancy spectrum.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I like to think of Royal being the richness of the band, and Vices being something that the people listening to the band need. Maybe something a little nifty like that.
Read it. Let the audience read into the name themselves, because art is subjective.
Yeah.
Thank you. Subjective, and you should
whatever
think
it
about
means to you.
the art you consume.
But what does it mean to us? I guess we still have to find out. I don't know.
True.
Yeah.
It's a cool name. It could mean many things.
Royal Vices sounds like rich drugs to me.
Jake would have a better. I mean, Jake would say like fancy drugs. He's like in the building somewhere.
He'll be here in a second.
He's somewhere being a Twinkie, but that's okay.
He's looking for us.
Yeah. Does he know?
He takes a really long
sure.
time to pee. We told him where we were, but...
Okay.
I was gonna say I can go find him otherwise, but
Yeah.
Oh wait, he just messaged me just now.
yeah, he's like, where are you guys
Yeah.
at?
Yep.
Mason, do you want to go find
Yeah, I'll
him?
go find him real quick.
All right. He'll be right back.
Ours is a special podcast. We're gonna have like
People coming in, coming out.
people coming in, coming out.
Little backseat, behind the scenes stuff that don't need to be here.
Yeah.
One new question I thought of that I've never asked the band. Do you feel ever since you started the band you were fulfilling your purpose in life?
That's fucking deep.
Yeah, that's deep. I mean, personally, yeah, because I've also I've been like pursuing side projects. YouTube.com/cutitprintit. Just quick.
I'll put the link down below.
Shameless plug, but other projects, other things. So I with this in addition to every other project I've worked on, yes, pretty solidly.
Yeah.
And also it's cool to be in a band that's like tight and like we can play shows consistently and not
Yeah, and for me, like I've been in like a lot of fucking bands. One of my most notable bands, Afraid of Falling, that I used to drum for, and like this band has kicked off a lot for me. Brought me to like newer heights that I never thought that I would actually be able to come to or have ever.
Yeah.
And it's all thanks to this motherfucker right here.
Hey.
And we got the man.
Hello.
Yeah, I'd say for me, like, I've been out of the music scene for probably 10, 12 years before I joined up with these guys, and it's definitely given me a new feel, a new purpose, a new, like, something to really be passionate about.
Yeah.
It's
For the guys that
feeling.
haven't jumped in, we're talking about ever since you started playing in a band, have you feel like you've fulfilled your purpose in life?
Yeah, it's like the only thing that makes me happy, man. Like I'm just super stoked that everybody else is on board with me and believes in the thing that I want to do, and everybody has also made it their own thing.
Yeah.
As opposed to just following suit and be like, hey, do this, do that. Like everybody has their own unique thing they bring to the table, as opposed to when I started off here with Ruben and you know, me and Mason used to play music before this band and stuff, so we have a decent foundation to go off of.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But yeah, like this is like my passion. This is not just a hobby.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm dead serious about it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We're not fucking around with we're not just making music, we're making our art that we use to express ourselves. We're not just fucking meeting up and being like, what's the best chord progression for this fucking no, we like write what we feel and like what comes to us. Yeah.
How about you?
I don't know if I've fulfilled, but I think I made young me very, very, very happy. I think is what I can say definitely with that, because I never got the chance to do what I'm doing with the guys now ever before, really. So it's just nice that Jay gave me the opportunity to come and hang out with the band and just kind of see what was up, and then I became part of it, and now we play shows, I guess. Yeah. So I mean,
you fit perfectly.
Yeah,
So
it's
You know, I found Cody doing karaoke and decided he was a good fit. You know,
I was the late addition.
My man found me at a bar taking shots and not knowing what to do.
Yeah, half of the interviews for the band have been done either in a bar or a studio.
Craigslist.
Yeah, I found Hazel off of Craigslist all randomly, and she's been the perfect fit. Yeah, a man seeking bassist.
Yeah. It was like inspired by Dance Gavin Dance, and then like a metal band. I was like, okay.
Bassistonly.com.
Yeah,
because I didn't even have a scratch track to put out. It was literally just a description of what we're going for, and Hazel came through, and Hazel's been the only bassist. Yeah, and she's been with us since the start. Like I said, me and Mason have been playing music for like 2 years prior to the band starting.
So well, a little longer.
Yeah, at least.
Like almost.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
We
were just doing funny deathcore stuff in my house for a while, just having fun. Really weren't even writing music. We were just having fun playing music, and that was enough to, I think, make it happen. I think, if you can have fun playing with people or doing anything you're doing with the people you're doing it with, it's always gonna make it 1,000 times better. So.
Yeah. I ask this to every single band. You guys may know. What is the craziest mosh pit you've seen or been in?
I think it was like us playing as a band, or just in general, like ever.
It can be you playing or just in general, either one.
When I was like, I'm gonna say relative to the time I saw it, because when I was 16, my first ever show that I like went to and wasn't like playing was Aftershock, 2016, and the Slayer pit. I think like. Just like being a 16-year-old and like this is my first ever mosh pits period, and then going to see Slayer and seeing what like an old head like true mosh pit was like pure unadulterated metal. It was special.
You thought you were gonna die in the pit after time?
Yeah, no, I saw Suicide Silence earlier that day and it wasn't as intense as Slayer, which like really surprised me.
Nobody yells Suicide Silence in the bathrooms, dude. Everybody yells Slayer in the bathrooms.
I mean, I think that's partially a problem, but
I know, yeah, we need to fix that.
I would say for me, I want to say I was 15, 16, seeing Whitechapel in the boardwalk, and some big dude just grabbed me by one arm and one leg and started spinning me in circles, and I was a battering ram for the mosh pit. My head knocked over probably 20 people in that pit. It was wonderful.
See, for me, I was about probably 16 or 17 as well. Slipknot. It was I believe it was in Vegas. Yeah, it was in Vegas. And like this dude in the mosh pit, he was just tearing everybody like a new one. And like this random like skinny motherfucker takes his belt buckle. He had a skull belt buckle on too. Takes it off. He's swinging right. He's like, everybody get out of the way. This motherfucker's mine. As soon as the dude came up to him, he pootie-tagged that motherfucker in the face. And like I just saw like this big motherfucker just fall down in his face, and I was laughing. It hurt, but I loved it.
Shit, I'd have to agree with Hazel. I think the craziest mosh pit I've ever genuinely been in was a Slayer pit. I went to go see the Big Four when I was maybe 13 or 14 with my brother and my dad, and that's Megadeth, Anthrax, Slayer, and Metallica. And I was the first time I ever feared for my life in a mosh pit.
No,
like there was fire
seriously.
that started, and there was 2 circle pits that made a huge circle 8. There was I just thought I was gonna die for like 2 hours in my pit. So.
Slayer, I don't know what happens when people enter the fucking vicinity of a Slayer concert, but they go back. They go back to cavemen.
Button turns on.
Yeah.
They're like boonga. Literally, it's crazy.
Go about it.
Like yeah. what was like, speaking on that of like going like concerts back in the day, what was your first concert you ever remember going?
Ever remember going
like
to?
ever like you ever went to, I should say.
So it was this is like half flex, half like humble brag, but the first show I went to, I played. It was and it wasn't like a big show. It was at Lou Howard Park in Folsom, California, my whole hometown. And actually, some of the members of the band Mentanita Death March playing tonight were the part of the headliner for that show. So I opened for them. So this is like a really cool kind of 180 moment.
Full circle.
But yeah, that's like the first show I remember. Like the first time I remember seeing like show culture and like people setting up and like being in a audience to a show that people were playing metal at.
For me, my first show that I actually ever been to was Power 5000 and Slipknot. I was about 5 or 6 at Memorial Auditorium during like Iowa tour, and it was just mesmerizing. And ever since then, like, it's held a stable for me, like what I want to do as a musician. And I've never honestly missed a Slipknot show since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my dad took me to see Motorhead back in '98. That was. I was a child on his shoulders in the pit. I was
a baby.
That was beautiful.
My first show was My Chemical Romance and Rise Against.
I just gotta say, I know that you own a studio because of the way you grabbed the mic. You were like,
cradle to baby. Don't look at it. Don't breathe on it.
I'm trying to be careful with it too.
Yeah, we're all, half of us are engineer nerds one way or another, whether it's visual or audio or what have you. Like, we're all creators outside of the band too, for the most part.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Splicing, right?
Oh, my first show, Bring the Horizon. No, it wasn't Bring the Horizon. It was Never Shout Never.
Hey!
I thought I could make it sound way harder. No. It was the AP tour in I think 2010. It was like it was like sponsored by Monster. It was Hey Monday, Never Shout Never, The Cab. I think it was just. It was a good time. It was a great time for my youth.
I would have been there.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it.
I always remember my first show because it was the craziest show. Even to this day, probably one of the craziest was I was 12 years old and I went to Aftershock. It was the second year they had Aftershock, and Korn headlined. And that was like my dream band to see live. And I remember my mom still, because we lived in the apartments, and she came back home one night from Walmart where you can get tickets.
No.
And she was like, "We're going to Aftershock," and I was like, "Hell yeah!" And then I still remember that, being 12 years old on the edge of the barricade, and then seeing the mic stand for the first time. I was just like, "Oh my fucking God!" But I know we're crunched on time. So I would love you guys to promote any upcoming stuff you guys have and any upcoming shows.
Look out for music relatively soon.
Yeah, we have 2 singles we're working on after this actual show, where that's our next goal. So we're gonna be quiet for a little bit with gigs, but we have 2 singles on the way.
We're working hard for y'all. We're working.
Yeah, we're doing stuff.
We're doing stuff.
Working in the silence and big things come out of the silence.
If you like films, youtube.com/cutitprintit.
Yeah,
if you like movies.
Oh yeah, Hazel's got a movie coming out.
Yeah, I have movie Brain Bugs. See that in like 2 years, literally.
And if you're in this area, Pacific Barbershop, come through.
Yeah, Cody cuts hair.
Hell yeah.
Staircase Audio.
Oh yeah.
Audio.
Yeah, we do that. Yeah, we record music. If anybody in
want,
your local Roseville area, you want some recordings on the cheap.
Yeah, if you want like your first ever recording experience on the cheap, like, we got you.
Hell yeah. I am so glad I got to finally do this with you guys. So remember when I met you?
Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. This is fun for us too.
Hell yeah. And I'm so glad this is my first show of the year, because looking at the lineup, I interviewed like over half the lineup.
Nice.
And I'm hella hyped, because this started out with just being a fan and wanting to meet bands.
Of course.
And it's grown. It's been over a year, and it's grown this, and I'm excited.
Yeah, happy for you, man.
Yeah,
happy New Year.
Yep. So, catch you next time, Mosh Pit Podcast, and check all their stuff on the link below. Later.
Woo.
Yeah.
a shame, but I keep holding on to these things unsaid. Daydream about what's gone, trying to not resent. Feels like a chapter's gone, it's getting hard to face.
Now and again, I think in my head, what could I've done? Different fills my head with questions and million scenarios. As anxiety grows, the isolation makes me more disconnected. Disconnected. Now and again, I think in my head, what could I've done? Different fills my head with questions. This one for the broken-hearted, was without love who will be discarded. This comes to the banished ones, the ones who can't see that the damage is done. This for the broken people, the ones who were told to see no evil. This goes if it feels like me, a broken nigga without the time to breathe. You're consuming at my soul. Was there any hope left for us? All the plans for our future seem so bleak. You're consuming at my soul. Was there any hope left for us? All the plans for our future
Only the space between us, such a shame, but I keep holding on to these things unsaid. Daydream about what's gone, trying to not resent. Feels like a chapter's gone, it's getting hard to face. Only the space between us, such a shame, but I keep holding on to these things unsaid. Daydream about what